So, franchisors, when they're collapsing, what you're going to start seeing is they're going to start pulling back on advertising, on growth initiatives. They are going to have trouble servicing their debt. All of this may not be readily apparent to you as a franchisee who's already in the system, because that kind of stuff you're not going to interact with typically every day. But if you're reviewing the FDD, you're going to see that they're going to have high debt servicing costs. You're going to see revenues falling. You're going to see that their advertising expenses are shrinking. Maybe they're stop paying even commissions for franchise sales, for the sales team and sales organizations, things like that. Now, when they're in this phase, there is usually some grumbling, but it's very easy for the franchisor to use the franchise agreement to smooth over complaints, because a lot of what they're cutting is very likely discretionary, which means the franchisor can implement it or eliminate it at their discretion in their say 100%. Let's talk about some examples of this. So if the franchisor runs a call center, maybe, or they run some type of maybe a rebate program for sales of certain products or goods or services or something with partnerships, or the franchisor helps you as a franchisee helps organize and run YouTube ads maybe, or Google ads, things like that. And one day these programs start getting cut. That was the example with Anchor Tiny Homes. And franchisees had very little recourse when those programs were starting to get cut, because they were discretionary. When you look in your franchise agreement or in any franchise agreement, you're going to see that a lot of what the franchisor promises you is very likely discretionary. Their only obligations typically are going to be to license you the intellectual property, the logo, the brand, to train you on the concept, and to lend you the operations manual. Besides that, very little is obligated legally of the franchisor to you or to a franchisee. So even when you start seeing these programs get cut and not being replaced by anything very good, or anything that really propels the brand forward, that should be a warning sign. There's probably very little recourse you will have, unfortunately, as a franchisee. But what you should be preparing for is the franchisor going to the next level.